What's up, Vinyl Community? It's your boy Chris coming at you live, as always, from the Man Cave. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time. If you notice a couple things different, number one, hair shorter, beard shorter. Hair intentional, beard not intentional. As I was going to trim the beard, because obviously the barber can't get to it here lately. I've been having to do it myself. I grabbed the wrong guard. And after the first hit, I was like, oops, I meant to grab a 5, and I grabbed a 3. And after that, it's like, man, fuck it. And the damage is done. So went ahead and took the whole thing, whatever. I don't know if the wife approves, I can't tell. She said some good things, didn't. Said some good things, said some, I don't know. I'll grow it back. That much I can tell you. Your boy manifests hair, so I'm not even worried about it. But anyway, another recent finds video for you guys. I'm gonna update all of you on all the recent finds, the new acquisitions. So going to be some Tone Poets, some reissues, some major originals, all kinds of things. You guys know how I usually wagon wheel. I'm gonna get to it pretty soon. Been a long time since I did this, but hey. For any of you guys who want to know what I'm drinking while I'm doing the video, it's cruising down the street in my 6'4". Out of Amar Ortiz Brewing in Fort Mill, South Carolina. Glorious IPA. Cheers, boys. Thank you. Glorious stuff. Wonderful night in the Man Cave. Daughter and wife called it a night pretty early. So ever since then, I'm one of those mental people. I'm one of the mental people that can't just really sit down and relax and enjoy anything, if that makes any sense. I can enjoy something by moving. Most collectors I know, I talk to, said that's crazy. My wife thinks it's crazy. I mean, yeah. I'm one of the ones that I can enjoy listening to records by sitting down and cleaning records, or sitting down and reorganizing my shelves, or reorganizing my collection, or re-alphabetizing, or moving certain records around by genre. I mean, that's just me. That right there. I just cleaned that whole thing out. I want this entire cube to be things that I just absolutely feel like I absolutely have to listen to. Because one of the things about me, about my collection, is that because I have so little time to actually listen to records, I almost always find myself listening to what I just got. If that makes any sense. Like, I mean, I'll have like grails sitting deep in here that I was so thrilled to get, but at the time I got them, I just had no time, and then they just get buried. And for the longest time, what I did was I stuck all my recent acquisitions all through here, and then before I knew it, I had recent acquisitions from here all the way down to here. Yeah, let me move for you guys. That's no joke. That's no joke. And I was like, yeah. So tonight I went through them. I'm like, how many of those do I think I'm going to listen to, pretty soon? Man, that's a lot. Like, you know what? Let me narrow this down to 1 cube. These are my absolute must need to listen to before they're filed away alphabetically by genre. And that's what I'm on now. So I just got to finish off that cube. But in the meantime, while I was doing that, I figured while I was still kind of sort of coherent, kind of sort of awake, I figured I'd drop you guys this video. Recent finds. Some of these guys, if you're my viewers who watch every video, there's like 5 of you. There's like 5 of you who watch every video. God bless you. I love you all. You know who you are. And then most of you are just kind of sort of clicking in and passing through. And hello to you as well. Hope you subscribe. Hope you like what you see. But so some of these videos for you guys who followed along, who subscribed along, who watch every video, you're going to see a few of them for the second time because of the trip videos and whatnot. But anyway, I don't like to assume. You know what they say about assuming makes an ass out of you and me. Anyway, so some of those, run through them relatively quickly. Here you go. The kicker, Bobby Hutcherson, is a Tone Poet release, first time ever on vinyl. It's man, what a treat! I gotta tell you guys, what a treat. How this session never saw the light of day in its prime, in its heyday, right at its release, I'll never know. But I mean, of course, you guys know Blue Note had so much heat, so much fire coming out back to 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 back. So many sessions just got shelved, and I got to tell you, on one hand, it's terrible that it never really saw the light of day during the lifetimes of some of these musicians. But on the other hand, what a treat for us as fans, for guys like us, for people like us, to be able to hear this music for the first time 50, sometimes 60 years after it was initially recorded. And I got to tell you, that's awesome. But Bobby Hutcherson, Joe Henderson, Grant Green, Duke Pearson, Bobby Cranshaw, and Al Harrowwood, Tone Poet reissue. I got to tell you guys, I've been through it a couple times. It's one of my favorite Tone Poets so far. Love it. Highly recommend it. Next up, another one. Tina Brooks, Minor Move, with Lee Morgan, Sonny Clark, Doug Watkins, and Art Blakey. It's one that had been out for a few months. I had tried my best to not order through Amazon or anything like that, even though that's so easy to do. I wanted to buy it from a shop. I finally found it at Noble Records. Great stuff. Tina Brooks saw so few, maybe one. Tina Brooks only saw like one or two sessions as a leader released during his lifetime. And listening to this one, how in the hell did this not come out during his lifetime? And what I've heard, rumor has it, is that there are more. And I hope they all see it. Tone Poets, come on, keep them coming. Main thing I love about the Tone Poet series is A, the quality of the pressings, B, they're bringing to light a lot of these albums that either A, never saw the light of day, or B, never got the proper treatment. So keep it coming. I love it. Thank you, Tone Poet. Next up, just listened to this one about an hour ago. Joe Henderson, The State of the Tenor, live at the Village Vanguard Volume 1. And the late, great Joe Henderson. Such quality material all throughout his career, all the way up until the very end. I mean, guys, the longer I follow jazz, the more I delve into it. And I feel like I'm always delving into it, the more I just love and adore Joe Henderson. You need this record. That's a great one, especially for a late night. Thank you, Joe. Next up, one that I had been after for a long time. I wanted to get an original copy of this one, but I wanted it at a decent price. And a lot of places, a lot of people I tried to buy it from were either A, overcharging, or B, overcharging for the condition, or C, the price was good but the condition sucked. And it's Horace Silver. I want to own a good copy, and it just never presented itself. So when further explorations by the Horace Silver Quintet became available on Tone Poet reissue, I had to jump on it. It's great stuff. What a session! Wow. Just, I'm not going to do it for every single one of them. I'll do it for this one, though. Great stuff. Horace Silver, Art Farmer, Louis Hayes, Teddy Kotick, and Clifford Jordan. I mean, wow. What a lineup. What a session. Obviously, I would gladly part with this in the event that I ever found an original. But if I never do, guys, I got to tell you, even if you're, the new, the beginner jazz collectors, don't think of these as merely just a stepping stone. If these are the best you can ever get, they're still pretty goddamn good. I'm just going to be real with you. These are great pressings. They're great pressings. And if I never get my very clean original copy, that I will only upgrade from this for a very first clean original at a good price. I mean, I won't just take an earlier reissue in kind of decent condition. Now, the only way I upgrade from this is a very first original mono or stereo pressing in very good VG plus condition. That's the only way. Otherwise, I'm prepared to make this my forever copy. That's how good the Tone Poet series is. They're great. They really are. Next up, RSD selection. Cherry Jam, Don Cherry. 45 RPM mono. Very nice touch. Guys, this is great. I was at Lunchbox Records on the last RSD drop, which I guess is the, I don't even know what month it is. The September drop, I guess. September drop? I don't know. Whatever. I barely even know what month it is. I'm serious. Anyway, I'm flipping through looking for something very specific. When I go in the store, I'm mainly looking for the Tone Poet reissues. And I'm like, hey, maybe I'll grab an RSD if it's something I like. But you know, the main thing I flipped through the jazz. I'm mainly looking for Bill Evans, for the Bill Evans issue, RSD, and it was gone. But so I flipped through real quick. No dice. I was like, okay, no worries. So I go to the jazz section, grab 3 or 4 of these Tone Poet reissues that I just showed you guys. Very happy with my dig either way about it. And about that time, one of the people working at Lunchbox that day decided to throw this one on on the system in the store, and it just right out of the speakers. It sounded great, and I was like, you know what? Let me backtrack. So I go back, grab this, $20 of quality. Highly recommend it. If you see it going forward, which you probably will, if you see it going forward, take it from your boy. Jump on it. Seriously, you owe it to yourself. Next up is one that's going to really probably surprise a lot of you guys. It's going to surprise some of you people who are newer to my channel. The ones of you who have been following me from the very beginning, it won't surprise you. But believe it or not, your boy, Mr. Jazz here, the Jazz Man, is a big Marilyn Manson fan, and I always, kind of always have been, since a teenager. I think he's a genius. I think he's a great songwriter. I think he's a master at constructing albums. I mean, I've always really admired and respected him. A lot of people don't get him. A lot of people don't understand him, but I kind of always felt like I did. And that's not to say that I agree with everything he ever said, but I've always understood what he was getting at. To be honest with you, to me, in my opinion, not that much different from, say, Eminem in the hip hop world. Says a lot of controversial shit. I don't always agree with it, but I respect the talent, respect the songwriting, respect the creativity, respect the process. I feel the same way about Marilyn Manson. And once upon a time, I owned a lot of Marilyn Manson original pressings that made me a lot of money when I got desperate for cash. And I'd love to have them all back, so I can only hope that they're all reissued quality someday. But anyway, this is the newest album by Marilyn Manson, We Are Chaos, produced by himself and Shooter Jennings. I gotta be completely honest with you guys. I am yet to even put it on the table. I'm looking forward to it. I've heard great things. I've read great things. We'll see. But your boy, the Jazz Man here. I dig Marilyn Manson. Always have. Next up, Thelonious Monk, Palo Alto. Hey, I did an entire video on it, sound comparison, even though my sinuses were bothering me during the video. Some of you, well, no, never mind. All of you pointed it out. I don't know. Evidently, you guys are really great at listening for sneezes, but coincidentally, my sinuses are bothering me now. Anyway, they always are. Yeah. When you have year-long sinus issues, the upstate South Carolina is probably not the greatest place for you to live, but it is what it is. Great session, great album. All things considered, when you consider that it was recorded by a freaking janitor and somehow sourced into a really solid vinyl LP release. I mean, everybody should be very happy with this. For anybody that wants to hear a great archival jazz release for the year, please grab this. I'm sure you can find it probably at any record store near you. I would prefer you buy it from them. Next up, 3 Bones and a Quill on Roost. My second purchase of this is a condition upgrade. The second one is about to be the other version that it's replacing is about to be gifted to somebody. This somebody will find out soon enough. Next up, Love and the Weather, Herbie Mann and Orchestra. I'm not usually a huge fan of orchestral jazz records, but hey, there's a good price, and why not? Bethlehem Records. Next up, Idris Muhammad, Power of Soul, arranged and conducted by Bob James with Grover Washington Jr., Bob James, Ralph McDonald, Joe Beck, Gary King, and Randy Becker. This is a killer album. Really killer. Just realized it's been a long time since I listened to it. Next up, the Jazz Pickers. Moderns only. On MRC. Original pressing. Great stuff. Next up, one I can't even remember buying. But I did. John Lucian. Mind's Eye. I don't even know what I'm getting into here, to be completely honest with you. I'm familiar with John Lucian and his work, but I resort back to what I just said. I don't know what I'm getting into here because I don't even remember buying it. But it showed up in a box with so many of these albums I'm showing you now, so hey. Next up, Mel Torme, Right Now. Vocal jazz. So very rarely do I buy vocal jazz, but I bought this one. A lot of good covers, a lot of great stuff. Coming Home Baby, Homeward Bound. My Little Red Book, Walk On By, If I Had a Hammer, Strangers in the Night, Better Use Your Head, Time, Secret, Agent Man, Pretty Flamingo, Red Rubber Ball. All those are the tracks on the album. I mean, every so often, good price. Every so often, I'm actually in the mood for vocal jazz. Doesn't happen often, but when it does, I like to have those albums. Next up, The Soul of Eddie Harris featuring Exodus. Of course, is the big hit on this one. Great stuff. Next up, the Paul Mitchell Trio, Another Way to Feel. Great stuff. Next up, Jazz Showcase introducing the Master Sounds. And this one's on World Pacific Records. Great stuff, original pressing. Next up, Gene Ammons, Bossa Nova, Bad. This is an OJC pressing. This is a great album. Hence why there is an OJC pressing of it in the first place, but it is great stuff. Stereo pressing, I freaking love it. Next up, Rock Candy, Jack McDuff. This is a compilation album, kind of like a best of, if you will. It's got so many great musicians featured on the album: Gene Ammons, Ray Barretto, George Benson, Kenny Burrell, Joe Dukes, Jimmy Forrest, Grant Green, Red Holloway, Bill Jennings, Harold Vick, Lynn Winchester, Leo Wright. I mean, just, yeah. Awesome stuff. Great compilation. K and JJ on Bethlehem. JJ Johnson, of course. Great stuff. Kai Winding and JJ Johnson. Great release. Next up, Stanley Turrentine, The Look of Love. That's original stereo on Blue Note. I accidentally bought this one for the second time. Oops. The spoiler alert, not looking to get any money off the other copy. I just went ahead and boxed it up, and I'm sending it off to a friend of mine via VCLT. Because, hey, why not? Don't stand to make a ton off of it. And, I mean, hell, let's spread the love. Next up, the Horace Silver Quintet. You gotta take a little love. Okay, I love Horace Silver. Second favorite jazz pianist of all time. Love him. Everything with Horace Silver's name on it is worth a blind buy, in my opinion. This album cover sucks. I mean, it's basic. It's basic as fuck. It just is. But the music's great, as it is with every Horace Silver release. So I had to have it. Every Horace Silver album for me is worth having. But that doesn't change the fact that this album cover does indeed suck. But it is what it is. If you see this album, don't be scared off by the terrible fucking album cover. Just go ahead and jump on. Yeah. Really is great stuff. Yeah, again. Wish it was a better album cover, up to Blue Note standards, but it is what it is. Next up, Lou Donaldson, Midnight Creeper. I actually got an opportunity to buy this one. And when I got the opportunity, I already had an original stereo copy of this one. But at the time, a friend of mine, my boy Matthew, that you guys actually saw in my RSD Road Trip Drop VOB, #1 VOB, videos 1 and 2, parts 1 and 2. My boy Matthew, if you guys remember, for those of you who watched, it was his birthday. And so it was coming up, so I was like, he'll really enjoy this one. So I went ahead and caught myself another copy, gifted this one to him for his birthday. Lou Donaldson. Great stuff. Next up, my first ever. This is no joke, guys. My first ever Christmas album. Guys, I hate Christmas albums. What's funny about that is Christmas is my favorite holiday of the year. Because I love my family. I love being with them. I love exchanging gifts. I love spending so much time together. I love all of that because it happens so rarely in our lives. And to just take those couple days out of a year for everybody to just drop all the shit they've got going on and just spend that time with one another, it means so much to me. So I love Christmas, and it's coming up on me quick, and I'm looking forward to it. But in my house, I've got a couple cats and a dog, so a big Christmas tree in the living room is out of the question. Not happening. They're just turning shit. So we set up a little tiny Christmas tree here in the man cave every year for Christmas, and we all do Christmas in here. And every year I just end up throwing something random on the turntable while we do it. But this year it's like, you know what, it'd be nice to have a Christmas record. So why not a jazz Christmas record? Don Patterson, Holiday Soul on Prestige. So I finally have a Christmas album. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. What are you doing New Year's Eve? You're all I want for Christmas. Silent Night. Holy Night. Santa Claus is coming to town. Merry Christmas, baby. Jingle bells. Whatever. It's a jazz record. Fuck it. It'll be on the platter December 25th this year. That much I can guarantee you. Alright, guys. Getting down to the very top ones. Because I know a lot of you guys, the more casual viewers, will always skip to the very end because you guys know that's what I'm saving the heat for. But here's the heat. The most heat of the heat, if you will. First of all, of the last few anyway, Bucket, the incredible Jimmy Smith, original mono pressing on Blue Note. With Quentin Warren and Donald Bailey. Great stuff, guys. Clean. Jimmy Smith on organ, Quentin Warren on a guitar, and Donald Bailey on drums. Splat out on the original mono Blue Note label. What an album this is, guys. Jimmy Smith, a couple of great things about Jimmy Smith is one, he was such a prolific recorder for Blue Note Records. So very prolific. And there are so many albums by him on Blue Note that even the rarest of the rare still aren't that expensive. Take advantage of it, guys, because there's great jazz music there. Great jazz music there. Next up, probably my favorite album in the entire pile, but not going very last because it's not the rarest pressing. It's Joe Henderson's Our Thing. Kenny Dorham, Andrew Hill, Eddie Kahn, and Pete LaRocca. It's a stereo pressing, and it's on Liberty, so it's like a third, I think, stereo pressing of this album. It sounds immaculate. It's in phenomenal condition. Love it. Still got that Blue Note label splat out. Love it. I'll keep it for as long as it takes me to get an original pressing in as good a condition at a great price. Man, how good is this record? I love Joe Henderson, as you guys know. I love Kenny Dorham. I love Andrew Hill. I love Pete LaRocca. I mean, wow. Highly recommended, guys. Highly recommended. Any solid copy you can get of Joe Henderson's Our Thing, get it. Get it. Next up, one I just had on the turntable right before I started the video is After Hours with Thad Jones, Kenny Burrell, Frank West, Mal Waldron, Paul Chambers, and Arthur Taylor. Man, what a lineup is that, guys? And it's an original mono pressing on Prestige. Splat out. Man, I gotta tell you guys, great condition, awesome album. Wow. So many greats. I mean, think about it. Thad Jones, Kenny Burrell, Frank West, Mal Waldron, Paul Chambers, and Art Taylor. There's like, out of that group, I mean, you're talking about 3 or 4, 5 of like my top like 20, 25 favorite, musicians of all time on one record. And it's stellar, and it's very worth any price that anybody is willing to pay for it. It's a great stuff, and it's a great late night listen, and I just enjoyed it right before I came on there with you guys. I'm very happy to have this. Saving this one for the very last. The only thing, I was telling somebody a couple days ago, as a more seasoned jazz collector, the only thing that sucks is that a lot of times, and by the way, this is one of the things I pride myself on, is the whole reason I have this channel is to try to introduce so many of you guys to either the ones who aren't into jazz music at all to get into jazz music, and the ones who are into jazz music but maybe you're at the beginning stages to veer out and venture out. So many people are still in the Blue Note lane. Which, by the way, if you're only going to be in one lane, jazz-wise, that's the lane to be in. I won't deny it. Blue Note put out the best jazz. They just did. They were top-notch all the way across the board. But so many other labels put out great jazz music. Impulse, Contemporary, New Jazz, Prestige, Riverside, as I'm getting ready to show you guys. But this is an original mono pressing on Riverside, and it's one that is very hard to find. It is Gigi Grease in the Jazz Lab Quintet with Donald Byrd, Art Taylor, Wendell Marshall, and Wade Leg. Great stuff. Again, splat out of the white label, original mono pressing. Super rare, super killer. Any version you can get of this album, get it. This particular version is getting harder and harder and harder and harder to find. I had to ante up a couple hundred on this one without giving you guys an exact amount. I had to ante up, and it's worth it because the value is only going to go up, the price is only going to go up. So that's it. So for this video, I hope you guys are all doing well. Hope everybody's doing great. Hope everybody's situation is getting as close to normal, as close to back to normal as it could be. And I hope everybody's having a great weekend. And until next time, until next video, keep dropping that new, you guys.